Well, happy Sunday to you all. This is Michael Kostroff with another of my weekly videos on the microscopically small elements of the audition process. I love making these for you, and I really appreciate the feedback that I've been getting. I'm really glad that you're finding these helpful. So many of you know that I coach. I do audition coaching. I've mentioned it lots of times. You probably know this already. And I've noticed lately that many of my clients have an obsessive concern about looking at the page, looking at the sides during the audition. Look, I like to memorize because I have a better time at the audition, and that's an important distinction. I memorize for me because I have a better time, and I find that I do more thorough character work when I've really grooved in those lines and I really understand more about the scene. As I memorize, I always learn more. But what I have stopped doing is turning that into a test in my brain, like they're sitting and going, so let's see how well you've memorized these lines. It's really not what an audition is about if you think about it. That's not really what I don't think their main concern is, let's see who can learn lines. It's really not what it's about. So I do it for me, and that helps me to be a lot less anxious about it because I'm not thinking of it as a test. Now, is being off book preferable? Of course it is. It's preferable for you. You'll have a better time. Is it preferable visually for the casting person? Yeah, of course. But it's not a disaster if you have to use the sides. That's what they're for. Particularly, people have said to me, well, what do I do? I just got this last night and I didn't have time to look at it. Well, then you read it in the room. I don't see what the other alternative is. I have heard from some actors that there are casting directors who say you have to be off book. Be sure to be off book when you come in. I understand the request. I will do my best to accommodate it. I may not be able to. Will that mean that they won't consider you for the role? That's doubtful. If they go, well, that's the right choice. I can't see somebody saying, well, that's the right choice, but I'm not bringing them to the director or the producer because they weren't off book. And if they do, that's on them. Let them, I keep saying this, let them do their job in their way. You do your job in your way, meaning if reading off the page is what you need to do that day, or occasionally reading off the page, we have to stop thinking of this as a disaster, because what that does is takes us out of the scene. That's the worst. That's the worst. If you could stay in the scene, if you go up on lines and you need to look for them, just stay in the scene. Stay in the scene. Just an alternative for you. Well, I'm not sure if I'm going to recommend this or not, but I'll just tell you. One of the things you can do is just type out the lines that you tend to forget. I'm going to take back that advice. I don't quite trust it because the audition room can do strange things to you, and all of a sudden you forget the lines that you know. So let's not plan on that. I'm not even going to cut that out. I'm going to leave that in because some people are considering that. So don't do it. Don't do what I said. It's just really not a crime. And in some cases, you really can use the sides as a prop. If you're a doctor, if you're a cop, if you're a teacher, very often you can use this action of going for your line to look the thing up. I really encourage you to take this off your list. We have so many things to be anxious about. Take this off your list. Look at the page if you need to. Try to hold it up as you do so that we don't completely lose your face. Now for self-taping, I don't remember if I've told you all about this, but I have a great cheat. I started making like a long strip of cardboard and putting it like right under the lens and taping my pages to it. And what happens is if you're self-taping, it just looks like you're thinking. If you say, well, Mom, I tried it your way and it just didn't work. It just looks like you're thinking. It's like, well, considering that we saw you at the scene of the crime and that you had the weapon on you, we think you're guilty. It's genius. They're going to say, what nuanced acting. And you could put some up here and some up here because sometimes we look up when we think. Anyway, I love that sheet. Then you really don't have to go off book. I mean, again, you should. You'll have a better time. Okay, write to me about this. I get a lot of pushback on this one, so I'll be disappointed if I don't get any pushback this time. Hold the damn page. Read it if you need to, you know. Okay, leave your comments below. Feel free to subscribe to these weekly videos. Tell your friends about them, please. Don't be stingy. If you like these videos and they're helping you, help your friends. You know, come on. And that's it. And I will have another thought for you next Monday. And, oh, Link is asleep. That's why we didn't hear from him. All right. See you next week. Bye.